Welcome everybody, how are you? Now we will complete our question about absolute max and absolute minimum by function. Let exist this example f of x equal x power negative 2 multiplied by ln of x on interval half and 4. Can you solve it? First, we want to find critical number. You must find critical number about derivative of this function and then equal derivative about function equals 0. Okay, to find the value of x. The value of x will be critical number. First, we have two term multiplication about them. We can find derivative about multiplication about two fraction. We can find first multiply by derivative about second plus derivative about first multiply the second. Okay, so if dash we can write it here. We can write here x power negative 2 multiply derivative about ln of x 1 over x plus we can write ln of x multiply by derivative by this term. We can drop power outside here, negative 2 x, and subtract 1 from negative 2 will be negative 3. It's okay. So we can simplify this expression. We know f dash of x equal what? We know 1 over x power 2, it's meaning x power negative 2, so the result will be equal 1 over x power 3 plus ln of x multiply by negative 2 over x power 3. We can set this expression equals 0 to find critical number. If we put this expression equals 0, we must cancel x power 3 multiply by x power 3 from all the expression here. So the result will be here 1 and negative multiply positive equal negative 2 ln of x equals 0, and we can move the 1 from left hand side to right hand side, so 1 will be equal to ln of x. Ln of x multiply by 2 equal 1, so we can divide it by 2, then ln x equal 2 can divide it by 2, so ln of x equal 1 over 2 equal half. We know ln of x, it's logarithm of e, logarithmic of e. Okay, so we can write e here, power here, e power ln of x equal e power half, then we can write it here will be convert again e power ln of x equal, again I will write it here ln of x equal half, so we can write e power this number will be equal e power half, then e power ln of x will be x, then x equal e power half. It's a critical number, so the critical number here x equal e power half, and then x we can write it here another form, the square root of e, square root of e equal x. Okay, it's critical number of this function, so we can find f of root of e because it's belonging to half and for this interval square root of e equal 2.7, and if you want to find the square root of 2.7, the result will be belonging to this interval, so we must find the value of this digit and half and 4 to find absolute max and absolute minimum number. Okay, so we can find here the result about f of half and f of 4 and f of e power half. You can use a calculator to find the result about from this expression. Use a calculator to find the result. I will do it here. This is the result about using calculator. So the max, we can write absolute max such that what f of absolute max equal this number 2 was negative, okay, and so it's the minimum, and the maximum will be here f of e power negative over e power half. Okay, can you see it? It's the maximum here, maximum equal 0.18 hundredths, and absolute value about minimum such that minimum here negative f of half, result will be negative 2.77 hundredths. Another example, look at here, f of x equal x multiplied by e power x over 2 on interval -3 and 1. It's okay. We must keep in our mind about this rule. We have to find derivative of the function. First, keep it here, multiply derivative of the second. About here, we can write derivative about e power x power 2. It will be e power x power 2 multiply derivative of this power will be half. And then, right, plus here, we can write what? We can write the second here, e power x over 2 multiply derivative about x will be 1. And keep this derivative will be equal 0. And then we can write e power x over 2 outside here, then the result will be x over 2 plus here 1. All this expression equals 0, so we must write e power x over 2 equals 0, or x over 2 plus 1 equals 0, then x over 2 equal -1, and then equal x will be equal -2. Okay, it's the result about this example. We can complete it here. X will be what? -2. And e power x power 2 equals 0. We have no solution about this example. E power x over 2 has no solution. Okay, so critical number here, x over 2 equal negative, so critical number will be -2. It's critical number about the function, so we can find f of -3 and f of 1 and f of -2 to find absolute max and absolute minimum. Okay, f of 3, and we can find f of -2, and we can write f of 1. About f power, right here -3 multiply e power -3 over 2. You can use a calculator to find the approximating number. Okay, using calculator right here in your calculator to find the result. Okay, it's the result -76 hundredths, -47 hundredths, 1.6. So the max, absolute max, we can write it. Result will be f such that f of 1 equal 1.6 was root of e, and absolute minimum such that f of what? -3 or -2, cause the result will be -0 and 47 hundredths. Okay, understood all this step. First, we can find derivative of this function and equal the result equal 0 to find critical number, and find f of -3 and f of -2 and f of 1. The first here -3 and the end was 1, and then find f of critical number here -2. Say absolute max when f of 1 such that f of 1 equal root of e equal 1.6, and f of -2 equal -47 hundredths. It's absolute minimum.